All right, family. It's about that time. It's about that time. Y'all know it's the General Sara, Suten, Seti. It's the Truth Hour. Y'all know y'all about to get this work. Tomorrow's a very profound day. Freemasonry exposed, Wiccan, Luciferianism, and Satanism, frat sorors, and the Jesuits. We're going to be getting into a very profound understanding on Freemasonry so you can see the wickedry that is upon you in every spectrum of the so-called elite, even down into the, to the lowest of the low, all affiliated and indoctrinated with the system of the beast. Okay, the Luciferian Brotherhood that we call Freemasonry, Western Freemasonry. You see, and so uh tonight, give you a quick. I'm not gonna give you that much. You understand what I'm saying? To show you that we will not be playing no games tomorrow. If you're looking for a profound understanding, this is most definitely the place to be. You is most definitely the place to be. And so let's start dealing with some things. As we look here, we can clearly see number one, that when you're talking about the first lodge of any Masonic order, that the African order is the first order on the planet. We're not talking about no niggas throwing up no signs just alone. We are talking about real Masons who also is integrated with philosophical, spiritual Masonry, ideological, philosophical, spiritual Freemasonry, which a lot of it is philosophical. But then, of course, we had the true operative Mason. You see, our mallets and our chisel and our squares were not for no motherfucker to be just philosophical. So we had the philosophical and the operative. And we were operating on a level that have never been operated on since before since. You see? And so the thing is, we have to understand the power in brotherhood, which we have lost. We have lost that. Our brothers seem to be our worst enemy today. You looking in the mirror at yourself, and you see the worst of yourself in your brother. And so you don't see that in nobody else. You won't take up the energy to defeat your true enemy as you will in defeating your own family and your own people, And so in all the philosophicalness of that, when we look at the pyramid, and motherfuckers talk about, you have to understand it took a whole people in love and unity to put that there. Niggas talk about it in a bland understanding, but have no love in their heart truly for their brother and their people and their woman and their children in a way that could ever accomplish something like that again. You see? And so when you're talking about, when we look at many of the symbols where people can easily identify with, then we can snatch them to the greater understanding. You know what I'm saying? And so when you talk about the Masonic Lodge, let's look at the Masonic Lodge. A lot of people don't understand that the Masonic Lodge come out of ancient Egypt. When you talk about the sacred oblong of not only the Masonic Lodge, but also the cathedrals, the basilica, even the mosque. You know what I'm saying? What they do, they put the sacred oblong. This is why you got a nave and, you got the rectangle. So what is an oblong? It's a rectangle. You understand what I'm saying? And so this is Solomon Temple. You understand? They always talk about Solomon and Hiram. You know what I'm saying? Solomon and Hiram cracked over the head. No, that ain't nothing but the story of Osiris. And they know damn well ain't no Hiram. Goddamn it, the Bible was just published in the goddamn 1400s. So good and goddamn well you cannot go anything previous than the goddamn Bible and find no historical record of no damn Hiram or Biff. Okay? So you know, we can kill that. We can kill that. You can believe what the fuck you want to believe. And so when you talk about the Grand Master, you talking about Asa. You talking about Asa. When you talking about, you know, when you talking, you know, you talking about Asa. And when you talking about, you look in the and you see him sitting as the Grand Master, the judge. You see him sitting on the square, which I won't get in today, but we see Imhotep, the high priest. You see Zosia, the Grand Master. You see Seti Minmatra, the Grand Master, Ramesses, Amenhotep, Amenhotep the Third. Well, actually, Amenhotep the Second. Well, actually, Amenhotep the Third was the illustrious, that rebuilt the Grand Lodge at Luxor. Akhenaten is actually Amenhotep the Fourth, but he changed his name. He changed his name to Akhenaten. You understand? But Amenhotep III, his father, was the illustrious Grand Master that rebuilt the Grand Lodge at Luxor. And so you see here, when you're looking in this lodge, you see the altar that's sitting in the middle of the room. You can go in any Egyptian temple. This is the Holy of Holies at Karnak. And you see the altar. And on the altar would be the ark. You see, would be the ark of Amun-Ra, the great God of the new kingdom. And if you go down to the temple of Mut, you would have the ark of Mut. And they would come together during the Opet festival, which was one of the great festivals of ancient Egypt. And so here again, you looking up close, you seeing the altar. You see, and this is in Philae, the altar. And so you come into now this is the Grand Lodge of the Irish. And they got damn black pharaohs. You can go in some black lodges and they got white pharaohs. They don't have no proper understanding. You know, they can't tell the whole story because the shit gonna fall in on them. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got no document. They know damn well ain't no Freemasonry started with no Solomon, no goddamn Hiram. None of it. You see, this is at Edfu. And you see there. And then you would have a statue of the Grand Master, which was Horus, in that Noahs, which is a shrine, you know, of the great God. You see? And so again, you see here, this is and they took that all-seeing eye out of there. You know what I'm saying? With the pyramid in there, they didn't took that out of there. Nah, they got this crazy shit in there. They didn't put the Jew shit in there. You know, they didn't put that on up in there now. You know, which is still not Jewish, but we understand that's supposedly the Star of David, but it ain't nothing but two pyramids, one up, one point down, creating the 2, 4, 6 pointed star. You see, and so this is in the Irish Lodge, you know, the Grand Lodge, and it depicts, you know, the Israelites and the Egyptians to be black. You see, depicted to be black. And so, I mean, when you think about Prince Hall and you see that he called his lodge the African Lodge. He didn't call it the Prince Hall Lodge. He called it the African Lodge. They couldn't deal with that. You know, they felt that they needed to change it, but it was a reason why he called it the African Lodge, because he knew that the origin of all Freemasonry was in Africa. You know what I'm saying? They were not deaf, dumb, and blind. You know, they knew that they had been duped. You know what I'm saying? And so he was making a statement at that time, and they undone that statement. And if they would have left it, then a lot of brothers, if they saying, if this the African Lodge, then we need to be looking into Africa for our understanding of Freemasonry. And maybe a lot of brothers would have gave up on that biblical and all the nonsense about the Romans and the so-called Greeks and all this, these other fake mysteries that they allow to come up in the lodge, which is a whore lodge that allow all type of fucking stories that don't even account to nothing to come up and be a part of the ritualisms and ceremonies. If we're gonna do this, let's do it. Let's be 100 in all the things that we believe and practice as African men and African brothers. But that's not what we're doing. We allow the nonsense and the plagiarism and the lies to exist, and we don't even profoundly bring forth the fact that the Africans are the true Masons. And when we talk about Masonry, we talking about the brotherhood that actually constructed all of the temples and pyramids and all of the great wonders of ancient Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan. We're talking about first and foremost that they're operative, but they're also philosophical, intellectual, or spiritual Masons, which you niggas is not. Ain't no damn spirituality. You alcoholics and shit and this, that, and the third. And we don't bring forth, and so we don't have to go and initiate ourselves into nothing. You understand? Once we have understanding of who we are as the original, sons of the sun, then we don't have to be ain't nobody can initiate me but the cosmos, nigga. When I was brought forth in understanding from my mother's womb, I had proper understanding, I was initiated. You don't come up in no goddamn, and allow no outsider to initiate. He don't even have the ability to initiate. And so, yes, our brothers put it together, and they had the greatest institution of education that ever existed on the planet Earth. And we need to bring it forth again. And we're not going to do it in the belly of the beast and trying to, aspire to please the beast and the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal. We must rise above that today. You see, we must rise above that today. And so they have a proper understanding of who we are. You go in, and so even when you talk about the so-called symbols of Freemasonry, that a lot of people mistakenly say, oh, this is, and no, this come out. So you see Narmer at 3200 BC. This is before Solomon. Solomon and Hiram is 1,000. They, Solomon come around 1,000 AD, even though he's a mythological character. He's dated at 1,000 BC. And so here it is, Narmer at 3200 BC, already got the apron, already got the Masonic mallet. You understand what I'm saying? You also see the chisel, and you also see the square. You also see the square, or the plumb line, or however you want to call it. And so you see the mallet, and you can see the symbols right there, and that been taken up out of ancient Egypt, and ain't got nothing to do with no damn Hiram. You know what I'm saying? And even when people understand the biblical understanding, that Hiram was a Canaanite, he was an African. You know what I'm saying? He was a Phoenician. He was from Tyre, which is under the Phoenicians, which was a son of Canaan. So he was an African, in which a lot of people don't bring that forth. So the Israelites didn't have nothing to do with building them goddamn temples, nothing at all. You see? And so we got to bring that forth. And so today, when you see the ballot, you see the judge, and that's the Freemasonry and the judicial setup on Black America. So when you talking about who's setting your ass, but you setting your goddamn self up. You understand? Because you're not reestablish your brotherhood, your rights, your divine rites of passage that would teach your babies to rise to their highest potential. And so they stay goddamn fish food for the streets, and they keep falling in these traps because ain't nobody, their elders and their fathers and their uncles and their older brothers haven't taught them the way, and haven't taught them the way of righteousness and proper understanding. You know what I'm saying? Who they are and what their destiny is. And you got a divine destiny. You got a divine responsibility. You see, but first and foremost, you understand, you got to ask, who am I? See, you got to ask, who am I? You got to understand that. And once you got to understand, once you understand and answer that question, you will reveal your destiny. You see? Once you understand that, your destiny will be revealed. And once you understand your origin and being the physical representation of the cosmos on this planet, that you are the caretaker. You are the caretaker. Ain't no goddamn, can't nobody do it. And you in a state of confusion and you can't even do it right now. And that's why the world is upside down and everything is crying out on the planet, because there's an absence of a true caretaker. You understand what I'm saying? That will look out for the planet. You know, the beast ain't gonna do it. He gonna continue to blow holes in the goddamn earth and shit and so on and so forth. So here, when you talk about the temple, you're talking about the hall of Ma'at, and you talking about the scale, and you see him up there with the plumb line, the plumb ball. You understand what I'm saying? Making sure that the scale is even. That you know you getting, when you put your heart on the scale of Ma'at, you getting a fair shake. You see what I'm saying? The plumb ball and the plumb line. You see that in ancient Egypt. You don't see that nowhere in no goddamn no damn Hebrews and this, that, and the third. And this is a real square from ancient Egypt. You see, this is a real square. And so you also see the square right here. You see the plumb line. You also see the square too up at the top. So when you look at Osiris, he's sitting on the square. He's sitting on the square, and the square is the right angle. And so that means to judge by righteousness. You right. You making sure that you look at every step that you take, and you take it in righteousness, and you do no wrong. You understand? You don't wrong others. You see? And so you see behind it, in the throne is Aset, the woman, the queen, the goddess. So you can't be no king without no throne. The throne is right. It is the right angle. And so you got to, in order to be a king, you got to first be right with your woman. That's what it's saying first and foremost, and understand your responsibility to her. You throwing up all these goddamn symbols and shit and this, that, and the third. Even when you talk about the arch degree, you talking about new. You know what I'm saying? You talking about new, in which I show you right here. You talking about the arch and the square. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about, when you look at the protractor, and so when you seeing the mathematics in the African woman. But then when you take it and you put that right angle, the 90-degree on over, you see that that's the throne. That's the throne. You see? And so you see the mathematics within Masonry. The woman is mathematics. Ma'at is mathematics. The protractor, the rising sun. And you know, and so we see that the rising, where the sun is born from what? The womb of Nu. You see? From the womb of Nu. And so this is the spiritual astrological understanding. And then the brothers came on down here, and then as it is in heaven, and started putting, you know, a lot of people say the arch come out of Rome. How silly can a nigga be? How silly can a nigga be? Africans that had arches before Cro-Magnon Neanderthals had shoes. This was ridiculous that somebody would even say that. But see, that's why you got to be brought to Africa, so that you could see these things. You see? And so I don't want to, even when you talk about the trestle board, it's for the master workman to draw his design. And you can go and see Tahuti, the master who created and gave knowledge and, you know, mathematics and alphabet and language to the universe. You see him on the trestle board. You see, we ain't here to play no games with y'all today. We know y'all done stole. But it's not just no damn, you know, no symbols. It's the spiritual understanding that's back behind those symbols. You understand that, you know, it's the spiritual understanding that gives these images the real necessary understanding that breathes life into a people. Not just it's a trestle board. It's deeper than that. And so, you know, I don't want to. Matter of fact, let me go back. I'm going into some things now. I don't want to go into too many things now. You know, I don't want to go into too many things because it's endless amounts of information in here. So it wouldn't make no difference, no damn way. You know what I'm saying? And so of course, I can, and you can see the hip hop niggas instead of them, they black and they don't have no proper understanding. You supposed to be breathing life into your culture. You know what I'm saying? You got these niggas out here, talking about some shit that Alex the Crowley. They ain't going and talking about no Imhotep. They ain't talking about Imhotep. They talking about Alex the Crowley. You understand what I'm saying? So you ain't, all that smooth talk shit. I don't give a goddamn how much money you got. You's a lame, nigga. You're a lame. You don't have no, you can talk about, you want to argue with niggas about being a dope dealer and shit. Seeing this controversy, now you want to argue that you was really a dope dealer. Okay, nigga. And so what is that? How's that educate either or? You know, do what thou wilt. No, don't do what thou wilt. That's what's getting you fucked up, nigga. You doing what you, because you got a feeble mind. You got a feeble mind and you doing whatever the fuck that comes. You don't have no strategy. You don't have no proper understanding of successful moves that's already been made. And so you just emotional and you're silly and you doing what thou wilt, and doing what thou wilt is fucking our people up even more and more every day. And then you done got it from a sick Cro-Magnon Neanderthal such as Alex Crowley, one of the sickest men, if not that ever lived. His mama called him the beast. When your mama call you the beast, and he's a Freemason. And that got to be understood. So they know when you go behind in the lodge, you got the Alex the Crowleys, you got the what's his name? Aton Levy. You understand what I'm saying? Aton Levy, the founder of Satanism. Then you got what's the other? Gerald Gardner, who founded Wiccan. You understand what I'm saying? And that just show you how deep Alex the Crowley is, because Gerald Gardner, who founded goddamn modern Wiccan, this motherfucker was initiated by Alex the Crowley. So Alex the Crowley it was the father of witch. He gave him the science of witchcraft. Shit. I mean, they keep, Gerald Gardner, he might have called, but that right there is his certificate being in Alex the Crowley's what they call the Ordo Templi Orientis. Okay, and so that was Alex the Crowley's thing. And so Gerald Gardner is a Freemason. You see? And so what do we understanding is that Luciferianism, Satanism, is a key component of Freemasonry. So when you get behind the scenes, you see who the God is. And then once I show you that, then we start breaking down, because they understand that. You understand what I'm saying? They truly understand that. And they're just like, I'm gonna drop that. When we look at the Eastern Star, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they call the Eastern Star. We understand that the true Eastern Star is Sirius, which is dedicated to Isis. You see, but you see Anton Levin, you see that's the GOAT. For them understanding, that's the GOAT. And so when you get behind, they understand that this ain't a group. This is the Eastern Stars. This is the female order of. And matter of fact, now I heard they just got straight up female Masons. Outside of the Eastern Star. So they understand what it is. They understand that that's the GOAT. You feel me? They understand that that's the GOAT, and also understand that the free order, the fraternal order of police. And you look at the sigil of Baphomet. You see, and understand that they operating on that Luciferian frequency. So when people say illuminate, people don't understand that you spell that the prefix of illuminate is ill. You got to break that shit down. All lights ain't good lights. All lights ain't good lights. And so, I guess, I just, I'm gonna show off. It's so much. It go down so far. And I'm gonna end with old Albert Pike, who talks about it. So the higher degree, you know who running this motherfucker and what they're dealing with. This is Albert Pike, who was buried in, considered the greatest Mason of all time, who wrote Morals and Dogma, which is the Bible. The Bible of goddamn Scottish Rite Masonry. You see what I'm saying? He buried right here in Washington, D.C. That right there is the Scottish Rite Museum Temple. You understand what I'm saying? Right there, Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Museum, Library, Supreme Council, 33rd degree. And this is the man that's his tomb. So that just show you how high up. It says Lucifer the light bearer, strange and mysterious name given to the spirit of darkness. Lucifer, the son of the morning, it is he who bears the light. Doubt it not. Doubt it not. I'm going to read you this last one so you understand what that which we must say to the crowd is, we worship a God, but it is the God that one adores without superstition. To you, sovereign grand inspectors general, we say this, that you may repeat it to the brethren of the 32nd, the 31st, and the 30th degrees, the higher degrees. The Masonic religion should be, by all of us initiate of the high degrees, maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. If Lucifer were not God, would Adonai Jesus communate, spread false, harmful statements about him? Yes. Lucifer is God. You in trouble. You niggas is in trouble, man. You in trouble. So when you start dealing with all these boule, all these frat, all these Soros, all these, the Jesuit, which is one of the, if not the pinnacle of all Freemasonry. You see at the top of Freemasonry, degrees that niggas don't even know exist. We got to break this shit down, family. So this is going to be one hell of a expose. I want y'all to be in the house tomorrow. It's going to be powerful. The link is in the chat. It's also in the video description. Hit that link and begin to think. I guarantee you, you will not regret a powerful, it's so packed. I didn't even want to go down. I was about to touch on some, I said, no. I gave y'all something though. I'm going to feed you now. I'm going to feed you. You're going to be like, yeah. You understand what I'm saying? But after that, you're going to say, fuck that. I need some more. You know what I'm saying? So family, again, tomorrow, starting at 2 p.m., hit that link, begin to think. I'll see you there. This is the General Sara Seti saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily, liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.